Let's now speak to Hadeel Shatara. She's a former Palestinian prisoner who was imprisoned in Haifa for 7 months and was released in the first wave of the prisoner exchange that took place on January the 20th. She's live in Ramallah for us. A very warm welcome to Aljazeera. Many thanks for joining us on this important day for so many of these people who are being released from Israeli detention, Israeli prisons. Give us a sense of what that moment is like, having been through it yourself.
Hello, thank you for having me. Well, it's an indescribable moment where you know that you are meeting your family while realizing there are prisoners and friends that you left inside the prisons behind you, where you are realizing what will be going on, understanding the fact that you are getting out and you will see now what's really going on around you. You will see what's happening in Gaza, what's happening in the countries around you, because all the prisoners since October 2023 were isolated from the world. The feelings would be mixed. The feelings would be complicated to explain. That's why many of us, when we are released at the first few hours, you will notice that they're not realizing what's really going on around us, because it's tense moments. It's filled with feelings, filled with trying to understand and figure out that we're finally with our beloved ones. We are finally part of what's going on in the outside world. Our isolation has ended from the smaller cells, and now we are facing the world again.
That's a very powerful insight, isn't it? That when you are in Israeli detention, you're isolated from what's going on. And of course, so much has gone on. Entire neighborhoods have been flattened. And some of these men who are returning to Gaza may be returning to places that no longer exist, right?
Yes, that is true. A whole map has been drawn. I've only spent 7 months in prison. And when I got out, when I was released and I was freed, I discovered a whole new, there's a huge difference. There's a whole new world that is waiting for us. The political map has changed completely in the past few months. So imagine spending 20 or 30 years inside the Zionist prisons. You would definitely see the world in a different way. You would witness different things. You won't recognize the things that you have drew in your mind that you can tell that this is your neighborhood or this is your hometown. But now in Gaza, for example, all these prisoners would be shocked. The whole area changed. As for the West, the same is happening.
Hadeel, I wonder if I can ask you to share your experiences a little bit more, because I want to know about the choreography of what it's like to be told that you are going to be released. How much knowledge are you given? How much notice are you given before the decision is actually made, given, as you've suggested, people are very much isolated from the outside world and what's going on?
For example, we found out an hour before the process started. At 1 p.m., they came to us saying, get ready, you will be released today. At 2 p.m., the whole process started. At 3 a.m., we were with our families, 3 a.m. at night. You won't have time to think. You will live in unknown until you enter the bus, the Red Cross bus. And then you will start realizing that, okay, I am actually being released. I am free today. It's very complicated. It's kind of mixed feelings with excitement, fear. You would see what's waiting for you. And nevertheless, of course, the brutality you are being treated. We were really mistreated. And all the other prisoners who were released on the next exchange dates witnessed that and shared their experience. They were beaten. We were dragged from our hair as women prisoners. The brutality we faced in the last few hours inside the prisons made us not knowing what to expect and what's coming next, until the moment came where we were with our families.
What do you think that last That last example of brutality that you've spoken about, what message do you think was being given to you at that moment?
I think it's the message that we're not happy about your release. We're not happy about what's going on. And it's the message they have delivered to the whole world. It's a continuation of the brutal and violent activities the Zionist entity has been using since ever. It's a continuation of a genocide. It's a continuation of all the acts they've been doing for the past 15 months. What's going to make it? What's the difference? What is going to bring? What are they trying to bring here? Is they're showing the real picture. So it's a continuation for the same picture they have been showing since the genocide for the past 15 months.
Hadeel, we have over the past 15 months, particularly when it comes to earlier releases of prisoners, some people be re-arrested, be taken back into detention. What is life like after you have been released? Do you feel monitored? Do you feel under extra scrutiny by the Israeli authorities? What is it like?
After being released, we were all invited for interviews to make sure that we don't go back to any type of political activities, if there's any. For example, I was under administrative detention, so no trial, no interrogation, no charges against me. But yes, we do live this threat, under this threat. We do live under this monitoring of our life. And it was very clear on the day of our release that they will be watching, they will be monitoring us. So this fear is still there, and it exists, and it's real for all the prisoners who got out, who were released and were freed by the exchange deals in the past few weeks.
Hadeel, you said you were taken and held in administrative detention, but what specifically was communicated to you about the reasons for your arrest? Why were you arrested?
When you are arrested under administrative detention, you won't be given reasons for your detention. They would say that you are a threat to the area, you are a danger on the area's security, and this is the only reason that they give you. But why you are a threat, why you are a reason, what are the charges against you? There's nothing. They would tell you, okay, there's a secret file against you, but your lawyer cannot know what this file is. And we're talking about a law that started in the British Mandate era and still being followed in the Zionist occupation authorities. And it's the only place in the world where they use, and they still use, administrative detention against prisoners, where they can renew your imprisonment up to 6 months, renewable 6 months, and you wouldn't know when you're going home, what do they have against you, or what did you do? They never ask you, what do you do? They tell you, okay, we are going to hold you under administrative detention. No charges, no trial, nothing.
So you are, as you've said, you are given a lawyer, you're given access to a lawyer, but the lawyer isn't given access at all to pretty much any information to allow them to do their work. Is that correct?
That is correct. And you're only given the access to the lawyer on the court date, not before.
And were you given a court date?
I was given a court date after 22 days of my arrest.
And what was the concern then? That you would go through some sort of judicial process and what? You may find yourself facing a longer sentence? What happened there?
No. They would just tell you that you are under administrative detention. So it's just, it's not a real court. It's just to inform you that you are under administrative detention, to legalize it. And that's it.
Hadeel, it's been extraordinary insight into the workings of the Israeli justice in inverted commas system and the prison system. Very, very lastly, as a final thought, what are your hopes going forward for the continuation of the ceasefire, the release of more Palestinians from Israeli custody?
We're really hoping that this ceasefire continues. We're really hoping that all the prisoners will be free, because they turned these prisons into big, brutal, inhuman entities where they mistreat human beings in there. We want Gaza to be rebuilt. We want people in Gaza to live in peace. And my last wish is we want the whole world to stand with Gaza today, because Gaza needs us, and the kids in Gaza needs the whole world to be united for them to have their life back again.
All right, Hadeel Shatara, it's been a vital insight into what it's like to be in Israeli detention, Israeli custody. Many thanks for sharing your experience with us on Al Jazeera.
You're welcome.
Okay, let's go back to Tariq Abu Huzoom. As you've been following our coverage is outside the European hospital in Gaza. That's where all of these Palestinian detainees who were seized from Gaza are being returned to. Tariq, the emotional intensity must be huge there as people who have been behind bars for a long time return to their homeland.
Yes, this is a very emotional and overwhelming moment for those released detainees today, as they have been embracing freedom for the first time after spending long months and years in Israeli jails. We have seen different mothers, different detainees have been completely hold on shoulders, moving between their beloved ones as they are celebrating in light and amid more very charming jubilation scenes that we continue to see in the courtyard of the European hospital. But this reunion has been very bittersweet, mixed with different sorts of grief. And in order to understand that better, I am right now joined by my uncle, who was detained by the Israeli occupation forces back in December when the Israeli military stormed Jabalia refugee camp, and he was released today in the sixth batch of the Palestinian prisoners who have arrived to the European hospital.
Congratulations on your release. This is a historic moment for you. Please tell us, what have you seen? What have you witnessed? What have you been subjected to? And how do you feel that you are about to be reunited with your family? Oh, praise be to Allah. Thanks to Allah. We were very hopeful. The emotion is very hard to describe. We're very tired, exhausted, and tortured. And thanks God we are free now. How did you feel when you learned that you are about to be released, and now you are moments ago from being reunited with your family? Tell me about how you feel right now. We were informed 2 days only, and since 2 days we haven't even slept a moment, thinking all the time about our family members, whether they are still alive or dead. I haven't seen my son since the past 14 months. He's still in prison, my son Muhammad. I hope he's well. What kind of treatment have you received? Were you fed? Were you provided medicines? When I was taken in captivity, I was 120 kilos. Now I'm 80 kilos. No food, starvation, and we were beaten all the time. It's a treatment of an enemy. I couldn't say any more.
This is the reality on the ground, not just my uncle, but other Palestinian mothers who are waiting desperately to be reunited with their families, with their family members. We understand also that the scale of the deterioration of the medical conditions of Palestinian released detainees have been widely seen and obvious on the faces of those released detainees. We understand completely that there is a reunion for the mother, that we are going to take it as a +1. She is reunited with her son, who has been detained following October the 7th attack. They are right now hugging each other in a very emotional scene that has been widely completely not available during the past 15 months. The released prisoner is crying, shedding tears of joy, and he's kissing his mother's hand to be reunited. And I am right now joining them right now on a live interview on Al Jazeera English.
Congratulations on your release. I know that this is a very hard moment for you and your family. I just wanted to learn, how do you feel? What have you been subjected to in the prison? How happy you are being reunited with your mother now? Praise be to Allah. Words are incapable of describing what we are feeling right now or what we are going through. Tell us, What have you been subjected to? We have been subject to the most severe torture from this occupying military. My mother and sisters and I, we went to Alauda schools in Khan Younis. I worked as a doctor for about 2.5 months. I would treat injured and sick people. They took me along with scores of people. My problem is that I was unemployed by the Ministry of Health in Gaza. Today, it's been a year and 1 day beating, torture and struggle, and in Ofer and to Jerusalem we have been transferred on the October 7th. They blindfolded us and they have beaten us. My hands injured with interrogation and torture. Many people have suffered a lot of medical negligence. They would give us 2 pills for more than 200 people. What could you do with 2 pills? No treatment, no winter clothing. They sent us, or they gave us clothes and blankets. After December, it was very harsh treatment. We were more like in Guantanamo detention centers. Please tell us how you feel after meeting with your son. How do you feel? How happy you are? This is the best of feelings. I hope that all the remaining captives would be released as well. This is the most beautiful of days that I've seen him alive. We didn't know anything. Today, it's my rebirth. February 8th, 2025 is my rebirth, and I hope and I pray that all the remaining captives would be released as well. Of course, we have been threatened and warned not to appear on media nor talk to the press. We are supporting Gaza and supporting the resistance. Our lives are just a small price to pay for Gaza, and I hope that the remaining captives would be released. May Allah support the resistance. Congratulations.
This is the scene at the moment. As I told you, these moments are quite precious for families who are waiting desperately to be reunited with their beloved ones, for the prisoners and detainees who have been released from the Israeli jails after a very long period of detention that was marked by devastating torture and a very inhuman humiliation treatment that they have received and endured on the hands of the Israeli jails authorities in the Israeli detention camps that have been widely set for the Palestinian detainees who have been detained after October the 7th attack, and also for those Palestinian prisoners who were stuck behind the Israeli bars for decades without seeing the sunlight, and now they are reunited again with their family members in a scene that sounds to be incredibly charming and full of jubilation and memories that will forever last in their minds and hearts.
Very powerful testimonies there, Tariq. Many thanks, Tariq Abu Zoom.
Make sure to subscribe to our channel to get the latest news from Aljazeera.